Hello folks, Trouble T-Cat back again, doing another Kerbal Space Program video. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about this moon base, because a few people said they'd be interested in this moon base. So I'm going to show you how. We'll talk, as we did in our previous couple videos, about how these things are designed, and then we will fly them up and land them. Now, we may encounter some slight problems. Now that you've seen what this looks like, I'm going to head back to the Space Center and go into the vehicle assembly bay. We may encounter some slight problems. I haven't tried this design with the latest version of KSP at 1.0.4. It worked in 1.0.2, but we are not 100% certain it's still going to work for us now. However, I hope it does. If it doesn't, you know, you'll probably never see this video, so that's fine. So, the base is, as you can see here, it's basically two modules. We've got a Habitation Module and the Science Module. So this is really good for a contract if you need to, say, support a science lab, and actually, I think this thing only supports 6 Kerbals total when it's landed, so it's not going to get you to that 7 Kerbal thing. But anyway, let's take a look at the Habitation Module first. Which kind of funny looking with this giant ass nose cone. I'm not even sure if that's helping me, but I like the way that looks there. So basically what we've got here is this is our sort of launch vehicle for this. See, we've done a is this asparagus staged? We've done an asparagus staging thing on this bottom stage here to make this not need to be too huge, and we got one of these Skipper liquid engines and a bunch of LVT-30s around here. This is, of course, then we've got this middle stage, and then finally, the thing that is probably most important is the actual Habitation Module itself. Now, this has a bunch of these 48-7S Spark liquid fuel engines on the bottom. These are attached to some Oscar B fuel tanks. I think I may have clipped... Oh, shit. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, so actually, you can see that there. It's sort of... Let's undo though, because we didn't want to do that. I want this offset tool. Yeah, so these are sort of clipped inside there a little bit, just to make them look a little bit nicer. We use parts clipping much more aggressively on the other module. In fact, I accidentally. Let's just reload this thing. Yeah, so here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to launch this thing and fly this up and put this on the moon. You'll notice a couple of other things about this is actually controlled by a probe core. This is an unmanned vehicle. These are our solar panels here. We got a bunch of batteries. Yeah, make sure you don't forget the probe core. That's just an advanced inline stabilizer. Got a ladder here so dudes can get in. All in all, you know, it's got all the things you would expect and require for your Kerbals to have a lovely, lovely home on the moon. Right, obviously we don't need to be worrying about the crew, since this vehicle is unmanned. So let's go ahead and launch this thing. Now, this is going to be a fairly standard, you know, sort of a launch procedure, so I'm going to take this moment to talk about some other stuff than the game. I want to apologize, first off, that this video has been sort of so long in the making, that it's been so long in between videos, because I have had exams at my university, and that's, you know, I had to sort of focus on that. It was pretty stressful times, and then after my exams were over, I needed to spend a few days just like relaxing really, really hard and not sort of thinking about making, you know, videos or anything like that. Ooh, let's try and keep control of our vehicle. That'd probably be helpful. I'm trying to remember the quirks of flying this thing, because it's been ages since I launched the one of these that I've launched. It's a little bit not quite as stable as it could perhaps be, but you can sort of see with a little bit of correction control input, I'm able to keep this thing more or less pointed towards space, which is good. You generally want your rockets to be pointed in the direction of space. Okay, how are we looking on our map view here? Okay, just gonna need to keep thrusting upwards for a while. So yeah, it's been ages between videos, and I apologize for that. I'll be doing, this is probably going to be a two-parter, because I don't want to make the video either video too super long, so I'll probably do this one part with just setting up the habitation module, and then a second part where I put up the science module and sort of get it all connected together on the surface of the moon. We'll see. You know, it may end up only being one part. Keep an eye on the clock. Make my decision based on that. Yeah, so there's gonna be some more KSP videos coming out in the near future, which is cool. I was really surprised those other 2 KSP videos I put up about my moon vehicle and stuff. Those got a lot more views than my videos normally get, which was cool. I don't know if it's just that I happened to hit at a good time with 1.0 having sort of launched very recently, and this video will get much fewer views, or if these videos will continue to be way more popular than most of the other stuff I do. I mean, if that's the case, then I expect I'll be making lots of KSP videos for, you know, a while, until that stops anyway, which will be cool because I really like KSP. And there's plenty of stuff I can make videos about. Just, I think mostly I'll probably stick to these kinds of videos where I talk about craft designs and stuff like that, because I don't think, I mean, I could do sort of a longer playthrough type of series. This thing is not punching through the atmosphere how I would quite like. I think this is maybe changes in aerodynamics between 1.02 and 1.04. I'm not sure this is actually going to go where I need it to. I may upload this video anyway, even if that happens. Maybe we'll do a little bit of a redesign of this if this doesn't actually work. Oh, we're getting up there. I think I didn't fly the greatest ascent profile. Let's just put this thing in like a low orbit, but not too low, because we're gonna lose a little. We're gonna have pretty significant atmospheric losses. Ooh, our probe core is not having fun. This should be okay actually. I imagine that's going to be enough fuel to circularize this orbit and then get us where we need to be. Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm probably not going to do any sort of big, long career mode playthrough series or anything like that, because so much of what that would be has become routine for me. It's really hard to have good commentary when it's like, I'm flying this mission that I've flown 50 times again. Let's talk about my cats or something. I don't want to do that. So I'm probably going to stick to videos about specific crafts or, you know, particularly cool missions, stuff like that. After this, I want to show you guys a really nice sort of Duna rocket, or at least I was really happy with how it performed. I was able to complete the entire Explore the Duna system contract thing with one unmanned probe, so I thought there might be some interest in people seeing that in the next video. And there's been a lot of people asking about the visual mods I use. That's kind of, I'm using an old version of Astronomers. I'm using Astronomers Edge of Oblivion, I think it's called, Astronomers version 3 visual pack, because I had a hard time getting the newer ones to work. And actually getting this older one installed also took a little bit of effort, so I'm going to make a video, I think, talking about that, because a lot of people were asking about that. And yeah, I'm happy to discuss that stuff. Anyway, let's get our circularization burn happening. So, there will be more KSP videos coming up soon. There will also, for those of you who are not perhaps a huge fan of KSP, which I know I have, you know, some viewers who don't probably care about KSP, I'll also be doing more reviews. I've got a huge backlog of reviews I want to do, which I will now be doing now that I'm no longer sort of in the midst of my exams. I'm looking forward to that. And some other stuff too. I want to do like another kind of Let's Play, but I haven't been able to pick a game to do that of, so I don't know when that'll happen, but eventually. And of course, I'm also still live streaming pretty regularly, doing mostly Rocksmith 2014 live streams lately, so if you want to come and hang out and talk about music and see me play guitar, that's happening also. And that's kind of what's going on. So there's going to be KSP videos, there's going to be reviews, and the live streams will be continuing. For the moment, Rocksmith. I'm really hoping to find some other stuff to play soon. It's just that there haven't been any games that really grabbed me as something that I've wanted to do kind of a Let's Play of or anything like that. Anyway, just setting up our moon encounter here. I'm not really happy with how close this periapsis is. Let's get this nice and close if we can. This is not... Ah, fuck it, that'll do for now. We'll fix that up when we get around there. Okay, so I mean, this sort of bit of piloting here you're seeing is, you know, the same kind of standard stuff that we did in the last video for just getting to the moon. Standard procedure: get into orbit, set up your maneuver, go to the moon. Then we're going to be landing on the moon. What's really interesting about these base building challenges is you're going to have to probably, you know, put up two separate things and then connect them together on the surface of whatever body you're targeting, which means that it's kind of got this additional layer of challenge. After you've gotten to the body and landed and done that stuff that you normally have to do for a lander mission, you then kind of gotta like drive around on the surface, and you're also gonna have to, you know, make sure that you land close to where you landed the other, you know, bits of your craft. I mean, there are other ways of doing it, but this is, I think, in a lot of ways, sort of the easiest and best and most nice and efficient. So that's what we're doing here. This is our, yeah, as I said, we got two modules, the Habitation and the Science module. This one's the Habitation module. The this one, you'll notice, only has these landing gear on the bottom. The Science module actually has wheels. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to land this thing somewhere flat-ish, hopefully, and then we're going to bring over the Science module, land that, and drive it up to this crew hatch, which you'll notice on the other module there's a docking port positioned such that it can be, you know, connected up with that, which is good, because, you know, otherwise we just have these two things sitting on the moon with no connection to each other, and that's not really what we want for our base. Playing the good old burning game. I'm a fan of burning. I'm really lucky. I only just installed today this new mod, engine lighting, which makes my engines actually give off light, funnily enough. You could maybe tell from the name. Which I kind of like. It's cool. You see, like, fucking ship lights up when you fire the engines. It's cool. It's cool. Alright. Get this maneuver close to being correct, although it doesn't really matter. It's not like we had a particularly good encounter set up anyway. Alright, that's fine. Let's fly around to the moon. So I don't actually have a contract for this at the moment. The only reason, literally the only reason I'm doing this is to demonstrate some stuff, but it's okay because I've got about 1,000,000 credits on this career mode save now. The total cost for this base between the two modules is about 100,000, which is, I feel, quite inexpensive. You'll end up getting a lot of science from this if you can actually load up the bay, the science bay, with experiments when you get it to the moon. You can produce lots and lots of science from these things, so I think it's a very cost-effective way of getting science. You will see when I fly the science module over, however, there is one problem, which is the science module is incredibly difficult to actually... It has just barely enough fuel to land, and it's really hard to fly. So I'm not necessarily claiming this particular design is a wonderful work of artistry. It certainly gets the job done, but my science module on the base that was already on the moon, I think, has absolutely no fuel left in its actual sort of landing tanks. I think I used every drop, and it still sort of hit the surface a little bit more roughly than you might have liked. But, you know, it got there. It got there. It didn't explode, so that's good. All right, let's circularize this orbit a little bit so that when we land, we are... well, it just makes our lives a bit easier when we land if we first circularize our orbit. Don't have to do this, but... I like making my life nice and easy. I suppose the other thing that I used to do a lot of videos of multiplayer shooters and stuff like that, and stream... I can't stream that stuff anymore because my internet situation has deteriorated. And if I try to stream online games, my internet connection just it can't handle it. I just lag really fucking badly. So I'm not gonna be streaming that stuff anymore for the foreseeable future, unless I can get a better internet connection. But I could still make videos. The only problem with that is, like, I play CS:GO. So many online video games these days really suck. There's a new big Elite Dangerous patch. I'll be talking about that. I'm aware this video has become more me talking about sort of giving a channel update than talking about the mission, but really there's not that much to say about this particular part of the mission where I'm flying to the moon. It's just, yeah, then you go to the moon. Okay, we want to put this down somewhere nice and flat. Let's look around for a place we can see where there's not too many craters. That would be an okay spot maybe, but we're too too far along. Maybe like here inside this crater there's some little bit less other craters. We do, of course, want to be landing on the daytime side. It'd be good, actually, to land it in a different... Actually, I don't think it matters what biome we land this thing in. Now that I think about it. Let's just slow ourselves down here, come in for a landing. Land somewhere is going to be my plan. I know we're really planning our mission, you know, in a great deal of depth here. Yeah, just land it somewhere on the moon, I guess would be good. How about not there? It's not flat enough. Maybe yeah, like we'll try and land in this kind of flat area in between all these craters. That should be good. This thing seems like it's gonna have plenty of fuel. I probably should have jettisoned this thing? Something... I could have sworn that giant nose cone's supposed to decouple. But I'm kind of worried about... Oh, yep, there's a decoupler for that. Let's just, Yeah, I was supposed to decouple that as soon as I was out of the atmosphere. We obviously don't need that in space, but, it's now going to crash into the moon. It's going to have a much more interesting death than it otherwise would have had, so, you know, that's good. It's going to be happy that it's going to explode gloriously instead of simply orbiting Kerbin, or, I suppose, burning up in Kerbin's atmosphere. It'll get to crash into the moon. It went further than any nose cone ever needs to have gone. I probably don't even need that thing to begin with. I don't actually know. I haven't spent enough time, you know, probing the depths of the aerodynamic system, but it makes me feel better having it on there. So, you know, that's why we do it. Now, since we still have this big poodle, I'm pretty sure we can slow ourselves down really fucking quickly using this. Wowie, we should probably do that right now. Because, wait, no, where are we going? Okay, we want to fly over this next big, ugly, craterous area and then land on the other side. I'm feeling like I want to be a little bit higher at this point in my landing maneuver, though. It looks like we're going to be on a safe path. We just need to, once we're over that sort of flat region, need to slow ourselves down nice and quickly. Which shouldn't be a problem with this engine. Assuming we don't run out of fuel. This thing's got to have at least 500 meters a second of delta V in it, right? He says, praying to the dark gods that he hasn't made terrible mistakes. I think that's the landing site right in this area. That actually looks like it's more slopey than it looked like on the map. But we're kind of committed to it now, so fuck it. Hope for the best, I guess. Alright. Slow this thing down. Yeah, we're slowing down pretty quickly. I think this is going to be fine. There goes the nose cone. And the that stack separator. Yeah, okay, good. This looks like a nice place to land. Kill off our lateral. I think we're still going to be over this slope leading up to the crater. We may want to go. I think I got enough fuel to do this. I'm just going to burn. I want to go a little bit further away from that crater. Okay, that's out of fuel. So we are now down to... Get off there. Get off there! So we are now going to be using these little engines to sort of slow ourselves down and land. Now we have a very, very small amount of fuel here. In fact, I'm a little bit nervous about this now that I mention it. But I think this hitchhiker can is really light. So it should be okay. Ah, yeah, that's going to be absolutely fine. In fact, I think this thing works better in this new version than it did in 1.0.2. I think my initial concerns were completely unwarranted. Because, I believe I had a lot less fuel left in that poodle stage when I arrived at the moon in 1.0.2. Maybe the aerodynamics treat this thing a little bit more nicely than they did previously. Which would be cool. It's always good when, instead of breaking our designs, new versions of the game make our designs work better. Yeah, so you got to be a little bit careful with your fuel here. You'll notice like this thing does not have a lot of fuel, but we got enough that we can sort of keep our speed nice and low, go in for a nice, gentle landing. Coming down nice and easy. I think I'm probably going to cut out a fair bit of the sort of boring stuff of flying when I show you guys the science module, so that I don't have to think of stuff to talk about while I'm just doing really sort of standard maneuvers to get to the moon. Alright, bring it in nice and slow, touching down 3 meters per second or so. Let's make it even slower. Why not? You can always go nice and slow. Okay. And here we are. Excellent. Beautiful. So, that's the Habitation Module. Nobody currently in it, as you might notice. Let's go ahead and extend our ladder. Get the... Oh, wait. I probably should have extended these solar panels sooner, but thankfully we didn't run out of electricity on our way over. Got all those batteries on there, so it's not exactly surprising. Oh yeah, the other thing I didn't mention in the assembly bay is we've got one of these antennas on here. I'm using the collapsible antenna. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this video, guys, and in the next part, I'm going to put the science module over here and attach them together. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time.